Hi, I'm here with Q. Q is a baby wearing educator, and I'm so happy to have you come so we can discuss a little bit more about GoGoVie Premium Baby Carrier, the features, what makes this carrier unique to the market, and of course safety, how the carrier is structured that supports basically a healthy spine for baby and proper positioning. So I guess I can start off with asking you, what are some of the features that you like about GoGoVie that stands out?
So I love that GoGoVie doesn't have a waistband. All of the adjusting you can physically see in front of your body. So you can see how you're adjusting the D-rings or the back support, adding more support for the baby. And also when you're tightening the carrier and putting it on in the beginning, you can see everything in front of you, nothing's hidden. And so you basically put it on like you would a shirt, like you would your clothes. And then just tighten everything. And a carrier is supposed to contour to the natural positioning of you and your baby, and it's not supposed to, prohibit that.
Right.
So, this carrier has wonderful features in it that keeps your baby close and in the natural position that you would normally carry a baby in.
Right.
Just without your arms hurting afterwards.
Exactly. That was one of the things that I found to be stressful with my own babies is holding them physically in my arms for too long. You'd have to switch and shake this one out.
Yeah.
Switch again and shake that one out, and because they get a little heavy. Even when they're little, just over time, it's heavy. So I definitely love that you spoke to the fact that your hands can be free.
Two hands free.
Two hands free. That's always important. So let's talk about some of the carry positions that you like that stand out.
So I like that you have pretty much the best of both worlds in that you have a soft structured carrier with the buckles and you have a sling, depending on what positions you use.
Right.
So if you're laying the baby, if you have the carrier on, you can lay the baby horizontally or in a semi-cradle position. And so that's where you get your sling features from.
Right.
But you also you can adjust it to make sure that this fabric isn't putting pressure on the baby's head and forcing the baby's head towards your body.
Right.
And you also can change and maneuver everything.
Right.
Everything's flexible. But you still have the structure of a soft structured carrier and the simplicity of it.
Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about these leg supporters underneath and the benefit of having them.
So this carrier doesn't have an infant insert, and that is the new trend now in baby wearing. Everybody is so tired of carrying around the pillow and the cocoon for the baby when they're smaller. This carrier is great because you can adjust just with the webbing, unbuckle and put the webbing through the straps. As your baby grows, you can have them as a newborn with their legs hanging freely over or swaddled in with their legs tucked close to them in their natural positioning. And as they get older, you can expand to the first setting and then the next setting of width. And so what you want ideally is for the baby's legs to be able to bend freely. Their knees should be able to bend freely over the sides of the carrier and not be hyperextended, meaning sticking straight out of the carrier. That's not ideal for healthy joint placement and development.
Okay.
So this carrier is great because you can adjust it as your baby grows.
Right. And we designed GoGoVie so that it would last from newborn to about 2 to 3 years of age. 35 pounds is ideal. Of course, someone might continue to use the carrier beyond 35 pounds. I don't recommend past the 35 pounds as the manufacturer because I want baby to be comfortable and I want the user to be comfortable as well. Let's talk a little bit about the swaddling within the carrier, not needing an infant insert versus a safe age where mom can use the narrowest setting but still have the baby's legs extended.
So again, you want to make sure that the carrier is supporting the natural positioning that you would have with the baby. So when you lay the baby down on the bed or wherever on their safe surface, you can see if they're picking their legs up close to them, how they're positioning their legs, and you want to try to mimic that and not change it. to make sure that they're most comfortable in the carrier. So if your baby's legs are tucked up close to them, that's great. You can just put them in the carrier, and you have the
sides.
wider sides to just simply wrap around them. And that'll give them the warmth that they've had in utero for 40 weeks or whatever.
Right.
It gives them the closeness that they need and desire and want. And it also allows you to be able to bond with baby, which is the point.
Yes. Now let's talk about even making a deeper seat, especially for back carry. One of the features we have here is that mom can unsnap the waist pad and fold it up, and it creates a deeper space here for the seat, and why that may be important when back carrying.
So when you're back carrying, you don't want to feel like your baby's going to fall off your back.
Exactly.
That's huge. I mean, when you're back carrying, most people don't have confidence because once they're on your back, most things are out of your control. So with GoGoVie having this extra padding, it gives you about an inch of extra space, of extra support under the baby's bum to make sure that, they feel like they're well supported.
Exactly.
And when you're back carrying or when you're front carrying or in any carry, you want to make sure that your baby's well supported in the carrier.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the importance of vest back and the comfort for the user.
So I like the vest back because number one, the padded shoulders are wonderful. It's just easy to put on. It's very plush, but not over plush.
Right.
And the vest back distributes the weight differently because you don't have a waistband. Everything's adjusting by the buckles here in the webbing. The vest back just distributes everything, so it's comfortably resting on your back and not changing the curvature of your spine or forcing your body to arch or do anything else.
Right, which was important to me. I gave some consideration to doing a vest back versus buckles in the back and just straps and webbing. And for me, I love clean lines. I like things to be simple, even in my home design, whatever. I like clean lines. And for me, it was important to not have a lot of fuss in the overall look of the carrier, but also maintain the structure and the support that was necessary. And I just felt that the vest felt good. I think I had pretty simple reasons behind the construction of it. It just felt good to me. And using the stretch denim just, again, lets it move with you. So that I found important. All right, let's talk about the adjustments being in the front versus the adjustments being in your back. What are the benefits of them being all forward facing?
So I like that, when you're outside and putting the carrier on in front of your car, even as an experienced baby wearer who's used multiple carriers, it's great that you can look in the reflection and not have to turn around. You can just see everything. Like I literally will stand in front of my car and just look in the windows, adjusting everything, making sure it's perfect. So I like that everything is in the front. It's simple and easy to use. You can see, just how tight the webbing is, or if you need to loosen it up for your baby, especially if you're nursing. If you're preparing to nurse in the carrier, you want to be able to adjust and move things in the proper way, because one movement and you're not comfortable and you're getting frustrated. So you can see everything right here in the front. You can adjust the straps near your waistline to lower the baby, and also use the snaps here to give more head support for the baby and adjust the height of the panel and things like that.
And that leads me into talking a little bit more about the front panel being flexible, so that you don't necessarily have to have it as tall, that you can fold it. And so let's talk about the benefits of being able to adjust the height of the panel based off the age of the baby.
So again, you don't have an infant insert with this carrier, which is fantastic, because when you have that smaller baby, that tiny little squish, they can't support their spine. They can't support their head, and their movements are all involuntary. So with this head support being flexible, for a smaller baby, if they're lower in the carrier, you can bend this down. But for a larger baby, like my 16-month-old, I use this snap here to give us that extra support behind her back, so that I don't feel like she's going to fall out of the carrier.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about breastfeeding within the carrier in the cradle position. and versus breastfeeding in the carrier in an upright position. And is there a benefit to either position, or is it truly preferential? Whether mom just prefers to breastfeed in a cradle or semi-cradle versus upright.
I'm sure that any lactation consultant will tell you that you want to nurse in the way that's most comfortable for you and your baby.
Yes.
But you also want to do that safely. And so what I like about GoGoVie is that you have the ability to lay them down if you want to lay them in a cradle position. You can have them in a semi-cradle position, all while you're still able to monitor your baby and see their face and see their body positioning and know what's going on. I like to follow the ABCs of baby wearing. So making sure that their airway is clear, they have a fresh path to air, their chin is not to their chest, and their head is not being forced against a place where their breathing could be compromised. B, their body positioning, making sure that they're either in that cradle positioning or someplace that they're comfortable, which is C. But making sure that either their knees are high and their bum is low, so they'll be in an M position, an ergonomic position when they're in the carrier. And again, C would be the comfort of you and the baby, and you have that comfort with the vest back. And the fact that you have flexible pieces of fabric to move to make sure that you have a full baby wearing experience.
Well, that is perfect. I really appreciate you sharing the features that highlight GoGoVie's uniqueness. The uniqueness of the flexibility, the comfort factor, the fact that there's 7 complete carry positions. So you have 7 opportunities to carry your baby in all these different ways, and to be hands-free, and to have some padding and comfort for the baby. And just to make sure that baby wearing stays a very comfortable and fun and bonding experience between the user and the baby, and not an experience that's negative or feeling like the baby is, just on you too much. But really enjoy that. That's a precious time. Precious time. So is there anything else that you'd like to add about GoGoVie before we wrap up?
It's just great that you don't have to carry around any extra pieces. You have, this blanket feature in the front, which I love. We forgot to talk about that.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
This blanket feature, you can either use it to cover, give that extra cover and privacy while you're nursing. Some moms want that. So you can cover one side of the baby's face. You don't want to cover their entire body, because then you're not able to monitor them. But this also detaches so that you're able to use it as a changing pad or a place to lay baby down, especially during flu season or whatever. And new moms and new babies, you don't want, everybody touching baby and baby rolling all over on the ground. So you have this blanket, and then it's great because you can just fold it back up again and tuck it back in, and it's not touching the baby's body and skin until you can throw it in the washing machine.
Exactly. This entire set is machine washable. The carrier is machine washable. The attached cover and the chummy straps machine washable. And I really appreciate if you can speak to the fact that even though the carrier is machine washable, that it's probably not best to wash it and launder it as often as you would your clothing that you wear every day. And let's talk about why that's important.
So baby carriers are not meant to last forever. May not last as long as our clothes. Everything degrades over time, over years of time, possibly. Buckles can wear down, the webbing can wear down, and so can the fabric, and that could compromise the integrity of the carrier. So you want to make sure that if the baby spits up, a little, you can get a towel or use very gentle, very mild soap with no scents. And yes, again, spot clean and just rub it off. But if you have that huge poop explosion or baby spitting up all over it, please wash your hair without optical brighteners. Obviously, no softeners, no scents, because all of that's absorbing into the baby's body and skin, and their bodies are so sensitive because they don't have all of the skin development that we have, the protection that we have as adults. So you can throw this in the wash, hang it to dry, and go there, but you don't want to wash it so frequently, every time the baby spits up or every time something happens.
Right.
Spot cleaning is just for little small things. Again, if you need to wash it, please do.
Please do.
Yeah, and you like you said, you could take a quick iron to it or whatever.
Right.
Obviously, you don't want to iron places where you shouldn't iron.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
yes.
But the quick iron is always helpful because with the denim, if you wanted to have, and it actually, in reality, you don't really have to run a quick iron over it. If it's washed and you hang it up right away, shake it out and hang it up, it's perfectly fine when it dries.
Yeah.
But if you're very, want it starched and have that fresh out of the dry cleaner look, yeah, you can run a light iron over it.
But the more you use it, the more it'll stretch out and the less wrinkles you'll have. So use your carrier.
Yeah, there you go. So use your carrier. Thank you, Q. I so appreciate you. I've enjoyed this time with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.